Warm welcome. I am Dr. N. Vijay, Associate Professor, Bharat Institute of Law, Bharat Institute of Higher Education and Research. I am taking Principles of Economics chapter. Now I am going to deliver Introduction to Economics. Introduction to Economics. Introduction. The English term economics is derived from the Greek word economia. It means household management. Household management. So Aristotle, the Greek philosopher, termed economics as a science of household management. So we know about economics. Economics is nothing but day-to-day activities. So French mercantilist used political economy so as a term for matters related to public administration. Public administration. So it is thus clear that the subject economics was first studied in ancient Greece. It's clear that the subject economics was first studied in ancient Greece. In ancient Greece. Okay, what's mean by economics? Economics is a social science concerned with the production, distribution, and consumption of goods and services. Goods and services. It studies how individuals, business, governments, and nations make choice about how to allocate resources because all resources are scarce in nature. So all resources are scarce in nature. Based on Ryan Robinson words, all resources are scarce in nature. Okay. So economics focuses on the actions of human beings based on certain assumptions like rational behavior, rational behavior of human being. Okay. Now we are going to know about the definitions of economics. Definitions of economics. First and foremost definition, wealth definition, given by Adam Smith. Number two, welfare definition. Welfare definition given by Alfred Marshall. Alfred Marshall. So scarcity definition given by Lionel Robinson. Lionel Robinson. Growth-oriented definition done by P.A. Samuelson. Need-oriented definition given by Jacob Winner. Jacob Winner. Okay. Now we are going to see about the definition. Wealth definition. So Adam Smith in his period 1723 to 1790. He is known as father of economics. Father of economics. So Adam Smith was a Scotch philosopher, widely considered as the modern economist. Modern economist. Adam Smith emphasizes on wealth as a subject matter, as a subject matter of economics. Okay. An inquiry into the nature and the causes of wealth of nations. Okay, published in the year 1776. So the book was written by Adam Smith. The book was written by Adam Smith. It is popularly or generally known as Wealth of Nations. Wealth of Nations. It tests on science of wealth. Now we are going to see about the welfare definition. Welfare definition. Second definition given by Alfred Marshall in the year 1848 to 1924. Period 1842 to 1924. So British economist Alfred Marshall defined economics as the study of man in the ordinary business of life. Ordinary business of life. So economics is a study of mankind in the ordinary business of life. So Marshall argues that the subject was both study of wealth and the study of mankind. Wealth and the study of mankind. He believes So it was not a natural science. It was not a natural science such as physics or chemistry, but rather a social science. Rather a social science. So Marshall believed that welfare of the people will promote the country. Welfare of the people will promote the country. So ordinary welfare, ordinary human being. He gives importance to know about the welfare of ordinary human being. Welfare of ordinary human being. Okay. Next, third definition given by Lionel Robinson. So 1898 to 1984. Scarcity definition. Scarcity definition. So Lionel Robinson, another British economist, defined economics as the subject that studies the allocation of the scarce resources with countless possible uses. He gave importance to all resources are scarce in nature. All resources are scarce in nature. Okay. So in his famous book, an essay on the nature and significance of economic science. So an essay on the nature and significance of economic science, published in the year 1932. Published in the year 1932. So Robinson said the following subject about the subject. So economics is a science which studies human behavior, So as a relationship between ends and scarce means which have alternative uses, So economics is a science. Okay, economics is a science. Okay, which studies human behavior as a relationship between ends and scarce means, which have alternative uses. So we are not able to study about the human behavior because all human beings are rational. So we are not able to predict the mindset of the human being. So individual to individual, the mindset of the human being may be vary. So the wants also vary. Desire to purchase the commodity. I am willing to purchase the commodity. So there is a contrast between the two matters. So willingness to purchase the commodity, desire to purchase the commodity. Okay. So scarcity refers to our limited resources and our unlimited wants and needs. Unlimited wants and needs. For an individual, resources include time, money, and skill. Time, money, and skill. So for a country, limited resources include natural resources, capital, labor force, and technology. So in economics, natural resources means land. Land in the sense all types of natural resources. All types of natural resources is treated as resources, natural resources. Land in the sense, land means all types of natural resources. Okay. Next, we are going to see about growth-oriented definition. P.A. Samuelson. In his period 1915 to 2009. So the modern definition attributed to the 20th century economist P.A. Samuelson, built upon the definition of the past and defined the subject as a social science. So according to Samuelson, economics is the study of how people and society choose with or without the use of money, to employ scarce productive resources which could have alternative uses, So to produce various commodities over time and distribute them, for consumption. So for consumption now and in future among various persons and a group of society. So he give importance. Economics is the study of how people and society choose with and without use of money. with and without use of money. Here, money is the medium of exchange. Money is the medium of exchange. Store of value. Store of value. Okay. Need-oriented definition. So the need-oriented definition was given by Jacob Winner in the year 1892 to 1970. 1892 to 1970. So according to Jacob Winner, he was a Canadian economist. Economics is what economists do. Economics is what economists do. So economist to economist, difference of opinions are there. So many difference of opinions are there based on the time element. So based on the time element, they can change their views. Change their views. They are not telling crystal clear. Depends upon it is the psychological attitude of the human being. Psychological attitude of the human being. Next, economic theory. Economic theory. So the theory can be split into three major heads. Three major heads. One is microeconomics, another one macroeconomics, last econometrics. So into three major heads. One is micro, another one macro. Last one econometrics. Okay. What's meant by microeconomics? So microeconomics studies how the individual part of the economy make decisions. How the individual part of the economy make decisions to allocate limited resources because all resources are scarce. So limited resources. So we want to study about number one, how individual use limited resources to meet unlimited needs. To meet unlimited needs. The consequences of their decisions. The consequences of their decisions. So decisions taken by the people, decision taken by the business people. Okay, firm. What are the consequences faced by the decision? If the decision give fruitful results to the person or not. So decision making is not at all a easy task. So among the alternative, the person, the decision maker is taking good decision. Okay, the sole responsibility of the decision maker is to provide or taking good decision among the alternative. Among the alternative. First of all, the person wants to know the problem. That is the biggest issue here. Biggest issue here. So that the person is having so many consequences. Okay, faces so many consequences. So the behavior of individual components like industries, firms, and households. So we are not able to predict the firm's behavior. Sometimes the company wants to increase its sales volume. Sometimes the company wants to increase its price of the commodity. In some extent, the price of the commodity can be increased. Sometimes the output of the commodity also increase. So the main aim of the firm is to maximize profit. So what are the ways to increase the profit? Maximization. So each and every business unit, the main aim of the business unit is to maximize profit. So profit is the lifeblood of each and every business. So behavior of industries, firms, and house. It may vary, depends upon the time element. So how individual prices are set? How individual prices are set? So price fixation is not at all the easy task. So before going to fix the price, the company, the firm can analyze each and every aspect of the price strategy. So the first of all, the company wants to know about the price of the rival products. So what are all the past as well as positive as well as negative aspect of the prices, so that the firm, the new firm or the individual firm can decide the price of the particular product. So if the price of the commodity is viable or optimum, the firm can enjoy supernormal price. We can accept the concept. Okay. So fixing the price is not at all a easy task. Okay. Next, macroeconomics. Okay, macroeconomic study about the functioning of the economy as a whole. So it examines the economy through wide lenses. Wide lens. So macroeconomic studies about total output of a nation. Total output of a nation. The way the nation allocates its limited resources, land, labor, and capital. Limited resources like land, labor, and capital. Another one, the way to its maximize the production level. The ways to maximize production level. The techniques to promote trade. The techniques to promote trade. So here, Adam Smith noted that there was an invisible hands tuning the wheels of the economy. Tuning the wheels of the economy. So what are the macroeconomic variables? National income, employment generation, inflation, deflation. So these are all the some factors of macroeconomic variables. Education, health, also the macroeconomic variables. So infrastructure facilities provided by the government. Okay, so the government wants to maximize the benefits given to public. So the government is purely based on welfare state, so that the government wants to maximize its expenditure. If the expenditure of the government is increased based on the macroeconomic variables, if the government wants to increase its expenditure pattern, it received low level of return. It received low level of return. So the revenue of the product is very low when we compare to expenditure. The expenditure pattern is too high because we are living in welfare society. Welfare society. Government wants to satisfy the basic needs of the people. Okay. Here, economics as a science. Okay. Science is the relationship between cause and effect. Science is the relationship between cause and effect is there. Classification of science. So positive science, what is, what was, what will be actually happenings. Example of positive statement. India is overpopulated country. India is an overpopulated country. The price in Indian economy are constantly rising. The prices in Indian economy were are constantly rising. So the price of the commodity is increased because of the inflationary pressure prevailing in the economy. So single digit inflation is needed for development. So here inflation is a good servant and a bad master. Okay, normative science. What ought to be, what ought to have been. Example, fundamental principles of economic development should be the development of rural India, should be the development of the rural India. Okay, next, agricultural income should be taxed. Agricultural income should be taxed. But it, government may not take necessary steps to tax the farmers because they are all suffered a lot. They are not able to contribute, able to meet out their revenue. Okay, Indian farmers are live one in debt, live in debt, dead in debt. Okay, so Indian farmers are very poor to meet out their basic needs. Okay, economic laws. Statement of general tendencies. Statement of general tendencies. So characteristics of economic laws. So economic laws are statement of economic tendency. Economic laws are the statement of the economic tendencies. Some economic laws are hypothetical or relative or relative. Some laws are human laws. Some laws are human laws. Ceteris, some laws are universal laws, universally accepted laws. Okay, ceteris paribus. Okay, that is other things being equal, other things being equal, other things being constant. So assumptions of economic laws, other things remaining the same. Rationality behavior. All human beings are rational. We can analyze. Is it possible? No, sir. All human beings are not rational. They can do what they did, what they decide. Okay. Next, economic problems. Economic problems. So the problem of choice making, the problem of choice making rise out of limited means and unlimited wants is called economic problems. So the problem of choice making arising out of limited means and unlimited wants is called economic problems. Is called economic problems. Why do economic problems arises? Why do economic problem arises? Number one, unlimited wants, differentiated priorities. Differentiated priorities. Limited means having alternative uses. Multiplicity of wants. Multiplicity of wants because all resources are scarce, so that economic problem arises. So people are not able to satisfy their wants, so economic problem arises. So the demand as well as supply of the product. So the demand for the product is very low, so that the price of the product is high, so that the people are not able to satisfy their wants. Hence, economic problem arises. So from the day beginning to end, okay, from the beginning to end, he is not able to satisfy his wants. Okay, so that it arises. Basic or central problems. Allocation of resources. Allocation of resources. So allocation of resources is not at all a easy task. Okay, first of all, the person wants to analyze the resources. What are all the resources available in the market? He wants to purchase the best sources. Next, efficient use of resources. So allocation of resources can be efficiently utilized by the people. If they fail to utilize the resources, so they are not able to survive in the market, survive in the business unit. Another one, economic development or growth of resources. So economic development is a discontinuous process. So the main aim of the government is to provide basic facilities to the people to develop the country. So for the past 50 years, 55 years, so government introduced so many schemes to promote the public, to promote the public. But it is not at all a easy task because here we are having so many implementation problems. We are having so many problems for implementing the decision. Implementing the decision. Okay. So allocation of resources here we can classify it into three major heads. What to produce, how to produce, for whom to produce, for whom to produce. So this is the biggest question arises in the economy in front of the people. So the individual or the entrepreneur or the industrialist want to produce the goods and services to the users. So it is not at all a easy task. So we are not able to find. So day by day we are knowing so many properties, so many products, but we don't know about the real feature of the particular product. Okay, next, factors of friction. Land, labor, capital, organization are factors of friction. Here, land, the person that is the entrepreneur, the enterprise will give rent to the particular land for utilizing the land. Rent can be given to the landowner. Labor force, the person wants to satisfy, the person wants to give wages as well as salaries to the laborers. Capital, The industrialist or the owner can provide rate of interest to the capital. Organization means profit. Okay. So among the production, among the four land, labor, capital, organization. So with the help of the factors of production, the country, the person may get production, may get good production. So if the person may not be able to satisfy the basic facilities of the land, labor, capital, organization, anyone, so the production process may stop due to various reasons. Okay. Next, advantages of economics. Theoretical advantage. So increasing in knowledge. The person wants to increase the knowledge by analyzing the day-to-day matters. Analyzing the day-to-day matters. He wants to know about the real fact of the problems. Okay. The problem may be viewed seriously. Maybe understand narrative. But increasing knowledge helps to perform well. Perform well. Developing analytical attitude. So with the help of the mathematical attitude, we can we can solve the queries very wonderful manner. So practical advantages. What are the practical advantages? First, number one, significance of the consumers. We cannot create the customer for purchasing the product. So customer is the boss. Customers are the boss. So they can purchase the quantities. They can purchase the product at maximum level, so record level, whatever it is. So it is purely based on the mindset of the consumer. So we can't predict the mindset of the consumer, but we can create the customer while implementing various strategies to purchase our product. For example, if the person is willing to purchase some commodities, but so with the help of advertisement, the person is able to purchase the particular product. So we can create the customer. So customers are the boss. Next, significance to the producer. So producer will decide to produce the goods and services. Before that, the person wants to know about the clear picture of the particular product. If the person is willing to produce certain products, for example, soap, soap, okay, toilet soap, means the person wants to analyze the rival product. So net quantity of the product, fragrance of the product, price level of the product, அடுத்தது consumers of the product, age group of the product, income level of the product, income level of the individual. So many aspects can be clearly understood by the producer. So he is the sole responsible for producing the goods and services. Producer, because he want to sell the goods and services within the period of time, then only he can be able to stand in the market. So if he fails to analyze, if he fails to produce the product, he may not be able to stand in the market. Significance of workers. Workers are the vital factor to promote the product, because they can do, they can perform well, they can work hard to uplift the welfare of the industry, welfare of the firm. So the firm can keep eye on the workers. They want to satisfy the basic needs of the workers. Basic needs of the workers. The particular country, in the particular firm can analyze to know about the drawbacks of the workers. Okay. So the real benefits can be provided by the real benefits can be provided by the benefits can be provided by the industry. So industry is able to provide basic facilities to the workers. So transportation facilities, canteen facilities, okay, canteen facilities, transportation facilities, okay, quarters can be provided by the industry, so that the workers can enjoy the real benefit, so that they can do or render their workforce very optimum level. So significance of politician. So politicians play a vital role for framing the policies. Okay, say though they don't know about the pros and cons of the policies, but frame they are willing to frame the policies. So with the help of the academician, with the help of the academician as well as the administration, the politician play a vital role. They are ready to frame the policies. Frame the policies. Because the policies taken by the politicians or the government, it is purely based on the welfare of the society. So it will uplift the people's standard of living. Before that, the academicians as well as administrators we decided to reduce the drawbacks of the policy decision taken by the politician. So politicians are the ruling party. Some politicians are the ruling party. They are taking decisions. So government play a vital role before taking the decision. So the government wants to analyze pros and cons of the decisions. Okay, effective manpower planning. So India, look like India. India is a developing country. We know very well. Here, our people may not get proper workforce. May not proper workforce. Most of the people are suffer from unemployment problem. So the effective use of manpower will provide to increase its ability to do the work. So helpful in fixing prices. So price fixation is not at all an easy task. Fixing the price is the most toughest job. So when we compare to rival product, our product price is similar. So the person never wants to increase its price level. So the main aim of the producer is to maximize its production. So the maximize the volume of sales, the volume of output can be increased. Okay, the volume of output can be increased. That is the one among the factor for reducing the price of the commodity. So that consumer wants to purchase our commodity. We are indirectly motivated to purchase the commodity. That is the one among the factor there. Okay, solving distribution problem. Before that, production materials can be fruitfully distributed among the nation. If the production unit fails to distribute the goods and services, means they are not able to get the return in time. So automatically they will leave the industry. So that the industry people, that is the production unit, will take care of the distribution sector. If a problem arises, they will adhere the particular problem. Okay, after that they can solve the problem. Okay, types of economy. Market economy, command economy, another one mixed economy. Market economy is nothing but where individuals and private firms make the major decision about production and consumption. So it may also called laissez-faire economy. Laissez-faire economy. So non-intervention of the government. Non-intervention of the government is purely based on the capitalist society like America and other democratic countries. Okay, other democratic countries. Another one, command economy is nothing but it is opposite to laissez-faire policy. Government will take care of each and every aspect of the. So government make all important decisions about production, distribution. So example, Soviet Union. So it may called as communist as well. Okay, it will take care of the people welfare. Another one, mixed economy. Mixed economy is nothing but the decision pertaining to production, consumption, and distribution are taken by the government as well as the individual. Such a market is called mixed economy. So they can't be a 100% capitalistic economy, but in the 19th century, England came most close to it. So mixed economy play a vital role for promoting the country. It will take both the capitalist as well as communist principles adopted by the government. It is welfare of the people. Okay. So I'm summarizing the units. First of all, we know about what is meant by economics. So economics is nothing but day-to-day activities. Day-to-day activities, production, exchange, and distribution. Number two, what are the concepts? One, wealth concept given by Adam Smith. Welfare concept given by Alfred Marshall. Third one, scarcity concept given by Lionel Robinson. Okay. After that, growth-oriented definition done by P.A. Samuelson. Another one, Jacob Winner. Jacob Winner. Need-oriented definition. After that, we know about the advantages, theories. Okay, both micro and macro theories. Okay, after that, we know about the basic problems, centralized problems of economics. Centralized problems. After that, factors of production. Then types of economy. It is clear that I know it's clear. Okay. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to present this paper. Okay. Thank you.